Hello, and thank you for joining me. This is Ciara from Ciara T Designs, and today I have these simple birthday cards to share with you. So let's jump right in. I'm going to call them simple. Maybe they aren't for you, but I do tend towards a more is more style of crafting. So putting something like this together doesn't take me very long, but that's why I'm calling it simple. So I did start by creating my base and the matte layers. I do have two pieces of cardstock here because I am going to make two cards as you saw from the intro. And I have a piece of HammerMill as well that I'm cutting down. So the blending piece is going to be HammerMill. These are A2 bases, which is 4¼ by 5½. And I've cut about 1/4 of an inch off of each layer, making it smaller than the last. So you're going to see a fair border here, which is just something I've been doing that's a little bit different. Then generally I would go for 1/8 of an inch, but here I did go for 1/4 of an inch. And then for my Distress Oxide ink colors, I used Picked Raspberry, Wilted Violet, Seedless Preserves, Salty Ocean, Twisted Citron, and Fossilized Amber. And now, of course, you could change up this color palette to be anything that you want it to be. I really like bright and vibrant colors, which is why I chose these colors. But if you prefer a more monochromatic look or a more like nature-esque look, you could pick browns, you could pick blues, you could choose whatever you like. I just tend towards a more bright and vibrant and kind of rainbow-y aesthetic, so that is why I chose these colors, but there's no right or wrong when you choose your colors. And honestly, for this, I'm not trying for a perfect blend. I just kind of wanted to play with some vibrant colors. We have some stuff going on in the family, and I needed some vibrant colors to make me smile. So that is kind of what this card ended up representing for me. It was just really me playing with some bright, fun colors and just kind of, creating a project to create something kind of fun. So that's, what I was thinking when I made these. That's why they're fairly straightforward cards. There isn't a ton going on with them. Though I am a more is more style crafter and I do tend towards adding a bunch of things, there isn't a lot on these cards other than they have a very vibrant background going on. And I really like that. But yeah. So you could, of course, as I said, keep this like a monochromatic color palette instead if you wanted to, not have quite this much going on in the background. But I thought it'd be fun to kind of create a crazy busy background that steals the show and then just have more subtle things going on top of it so that I could kind of create a fun look that way. I did go over my colors twice just because I wanted them to be very vibrant and I didn't want any of the colors to kind of disappear. I'm not going for a perfect blend here. I'm just kind of adding colors where I want to and then just intensifying them a bit with the second layer of color. And honestly, they don't even turn out the same. Like I have more Seedless Preserves on one than the other. I have, more Twisted Citron on one than the other. It doesn't really matter. It's just creating fun backgrounds that you enjoy. And I think this technique works really well for any color palette and any inks that you can blend with, really. I mean, I use Oxides because they're my preferred inks, but any ink would work with this, especially one that is water soluble. So you can, here you can add all that really fun texture to the background. So I did mist them with a fair amount of water. And then I'm also going to bring in my Perfect Pearls that I keep mixed up in this little mini mister bottle. And I just splash that onto the background. I am getting pretty low. I will have to refill my little mini mister bottle. And I did have some people say they'd like to see maybe a short or whatever of how I do it. So that will come about as soon as I have a chance to sit down and do it. But I heavily added this to the background. There's also not tons left in that little bottle, as I said. So I did have to get pretty aggressive while I was flicking it on. But I just wanted some added texture in the background. And then for a sentiment, I did go kind of subtle with this. I have a 2-layer sentiment. This is from Memory Box. It's the Happy Birthday Posh script die, and you get the layer that goes kind of behind it, like a shadow layer, and then you get the, fancier scripty piece that cuts out the Happy Birthday. And I did the base layer in some vellum, and then I went back in with the, top layer in some, it's sparkle cardstock from Tim Holtz. I think it's called, let me see if I can remember off the top of my head. I think it's the Sparkle Classics papers, and it's a craft base, but it has this really beautiful sparkly top, and I've got the silver here, so I'm working with that one just because I thought that wouldn't steal the show, and it would still match the really pretty splatter that I've added to the background. and it really wouldn't kind of draw your eye away from that really vibrant, beautiful background. So that's kind of what I was thinking when I went with that. And I'm just going to layer those up. This is a really fun die for that. I think that that's why I kind of consider these cards really simple, because after I've blended the background and kind of added the sentiment, there's not much else going on for them. So I think that they would be a card you could easily reproduce if you needed a lot of them. And you could do this in a more colory, like a more Christmas colored palette, and make a whole bunch of Christmas cards and have, Merry Christmas on top or something like that. So that is why I go to saying this is simple, though I know for a lot of people this would not be considered a simple and clean card. But for me personally, it does kind of lean that way, if you guys have seen what I like to make generally. But yeah, so I just popped out the happy birthday. You can see that beautiful script sitting there, and then it just goes on top of that vellum layer, and it just looks really pretty and adds what I need it to. I didn't catch the shimmer of the cardstock well in the video, sadly. This is some beautiful cardstock. If you guys have worked with the Tim Holtz papers, the Sparkle Classics is kind of mind-boggling. It's a printed sparkle cardstock, so nothing can come off, nothing, like sheds, there's no glitter that's funny falling off, but it's incredibly shiny, and it always mind boggles me a little because I know that it's printed. So I guess I'm always a little surprised that it's quite this beautiful in person. And like I said, the video just does not do it justice. It is so much prettier in person. And sadly, I don't think I even really captured it at the end when I show it to you in the light very well either. So wait for the, I do a little short of the cards that I make, and usually that can it shows you a bit better the detail. But yeah, I don't think I captured it well in the video. But because this cardstock's stunning. And I just glued the two layers together, so I'm just going to adhere the scripty layer on top of that vellum kind of shadowy layer, and that's kind of all I'm really going to add to this. I do bring in one more element, and again, if you already have something like this in your stash, then it's even simpler. But you could easily take, like I know Tim Holtz now has a I guess it'd be like a doily, or I think that's what we would call it. You could put that behind them. But I had these die cut pieces in my stash, and I've had these a long time. These are the 49 and Market Tranquility laser cut elements. I'm not honestly even sure if you can get them anymore. If you can, I will have them linked and listed down below. But if you can't, I'll try to find something similar. But I just took these beautiful lacy details that are so subtle but so stunning, and I just added them behind the happy birthday for just a little bit of more texture and interest. And that's the whole card design. Like, I honestly think that this could be easily mass produced if you wanted to, especially if you had, a die cut that you could just keep cutting that gave you this kind of beautiful doily. I'm sure there's a ton of them on the market. The only one that comes to mind at the moment is the Tim Holtz one. So I'll link that one down below because I've spoken about it. But if you have, doilies, I have a whole bunch of doilies in my stash. They wouldn't have been small enough for this card design, but if you made this slightly bigger, you could put just a beautiful doily behind the sentiment, and that just adds a little bit of interest and texture. So it was kind of a card design that came together really easily, and that's great for me because I am really low on happy birthday cards right now, and I do hope to do some markets in the fall. So I am kind of trying to have some builders in my stash that are still really interesting to create, and I can still make videos for, because you guys know I make 2 videos a week. And then of course we are doing live streams now. So this coming Thursday we have a live stream. I have not put up a thumbnail for it yet. I will, I promise. I just have a lot of family stuff going on that I'll tell you guys a little bit about on the live stream. But on Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be live. I think we're honestly going to work on my diamond art painting that I just got, and I'm super excited to show you. If you're in my little Facebook group, you'll have seen the diamond art painting because I did share the one that I purchased there, so you guys would have an idea of what it looked like. And I'm really excited to get started on it. So I think we're probably going to work on that because I just need something that's not too challenging for my mind at the moment. And I thought that would be a really fun thing to do. So if you have any interest in joining my little Facebook group, it is just Ciara T Designs. You do have to request to join because I don't want any spam in there. So you do have to actually request to join the group. But it's just me and some really fun creative people who hang out when we share projects. And that's just a really easy way to show me what you're making if you'd like to. So go ahead and request to join that if you want. And sometimes we share, there's been some recipes shared. We share, you know, like I think there's been some animal actually pictures in there. And, you know, it's just kind of a fun space where we just kind of, like you get to chat with me a bit closer, and we share projects that we're working on. So it is a lot of fun. So if you're at all interested, you can go and check that out. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description so it's really easy to find. Sometimes I forget though, because as I said, there's just been a lot going on in my family lately. So I am just a little all over the place, little frazzled, but I'll try my best to remember. But yeah, otherwise you can search it on Facebook. It is just Ciara T Designs, and then it is the actual Facebook group, though I do also have a business page. So if you want to like that, yeah, absolutely can as well. But yeah, hopefully you guys, if you have time, will come to the live. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, though it's not a card design directly. So far in the lives, mostly we've been making different things. One live we made a journal start to finish. It was a lot of fun. I have done some cards. One we did my new storage for the foam dome holders after Tim Holtz had brought out all 72 colors. So I revamped those. One we made envelopes from Market. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So I thought the diamond excuse me, the diamond art painting would be a really fun project to kind of work on and, you know, do together, because I've never done one. Though I'm incredibly excited to start because I think it'll be just a fun activity. Yeah, so make sure you stop in if you have a chance, because it's a pretty fun time, and there's a lot of lovely ladies who come and hang out. And every once in a while my husband pops in as well, so that's pretty fun. But yeah, so this is the card design I have for you guys. I did add a few little gems there, silver as well, very subtle. And it's just, I think these are just a really fun card. It's pretty straightforward design, easily reproducible. And it was a lot of fun to make. So and they make me smile because they're just bright and vibrant, and I need a little more of that in my day-to-day right now. So that is the video I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll consider leaving me a like, leaving me a comment, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I do new videos every Monday and Thursday. And as I said, every second video on Thursdays is a live stream. So thank you so much, guys, and I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.